So, if you don't know, I currently have like an obsession with going to the library and checking out way too many library books. And it has come to be my demise because I leave for a 10 week, not a 10 week, a 10-day trip in 6 days, and I have about 30 library books checked out that they don't all need to go back. But I want to read most of them because I've already renewed so many of them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I really need to get some of these library books off of my TBR. So that is where today's video comes in. We are going to be doing a 24-hour reading challenge. I know, insane, actually crazy. For those of you who may not know, I used to post my reading videos on my business channel when I didn't have this platform. And one of the videos I posted was my very, 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 very poor attempt at a 24 reading challenge, a 24-hour reading challenge the first time. But I think I only got to like 5 or 6 hours in the span of 3 days. It was not good. But that's okay, because today we are having my redemption arc. I am going to be reading for 24 hours. I've already had an energy drink. I might end up needing to take a second. We'll see. I'm hoping not. It is currently, I believe, 6 p.m. So we'll be reading until like 6 p.m. tomorrow. I'll have a timer, obviously, on my iPad, but just felt like you need to know the time. Like I'm doing the night part first because I know that's going to be the hardest part for me, at least. Like, that's the plan, and I'm excited to move forward with my plan. I hope that made sense. Even though this challenge is to read as many library books as possible, I first want to finish the book that I'm currently listening to on it's actually on Spotify. I was supposed to say Audible. No, I'm listening to it on Spotify, but it's my audiobook that I'm listening to right now. And that is because I actually have stuff I need to do online for my Etsy shop because I have a restock tomorrow. Great timing on my part, filming wise. I know, I'm amazing. So we are going to go listen to my audiobook, which is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. I am almost done. No, I'm not. I am less than halfway, and I'm just gonna listen to this until I'm done with my Etsy stuff. But it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. So we might finish this, we might not. We'll see. I also don't know what we're gonna read after this, so I don't really have anything to say like, oh, and after that we're gonna read this. I literally have no idea. But that aside, let's go start with listening to The Lost Apothecary. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I have like full confidence that this time I'm gonna do great. So I'm ready to go have a grand old time. Let's go. Okay, so even though it may look like I haven't moved at all, I have. Our timer is now it's been a while. It's at like 21 hours-ish and 13 minutes. I did have to, I guess, restart it because I started doing my work without starting the timer because I paused it because I needed to gather all my stuff. But I read for about an hour of time, not on the 24-hour timer, so I just set a new one for 23 hours. So if it looks like more time has passed than what it should be for the clocky bit, that's why. It's because I messed up. But we're okay now. But I did not finish The Lost Apothecary, but I am almost done with it. I've got, I think, got 60 pages left, but I'm actually not going to finish this right now because I have a feeling that later tonight, I'm going to have a patch. I'm like, I can't read. I just want to do something else. Like, I need a break. And when that happens, then I'll listen to the rest of this and, probably crochet or something. But for right now, we are going to pick up our first physical book, and that is going to be An Education in Malice. This book actually needed to be renewed today. Like, it's due tomorrow at the library, and I always renew them like the day before they need to be taken back in, so I have them for the longest amount of time. But someone else has put this book on hold, so now this book is due back at the library tomorrow. So we are going to binge read this entire book next, or until, I'm going to be honest, until I DNF it, because I am really good at not reading the back of books, and this is going to be my first dark academia read. And after watching a couple other people's dark academia reading books, I don't know if I'm going to like this. So I'm going to try it because the premise sounded really interesting. So we're going to try to read An Education in Malice. Let's go read the one that I want to read right now. Yeah, let's go do that. Hello and welcome to what book are we reading? In Education and Malice, update number 1. I just finished reading chapter 11. I am on chapter 12. That is page 110. And I think I'm liking it so far. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, I've never read this genre before. But from what I do know, it's kind of like, a really heavy topic, like I guess trigger warning heavy. Oh, that looks really bad. Let's move this way. Okay. But as I was saying, from what I know, it's like a really trigger warning topic heavy genre. But from what I've read so far, it's not like super weird. I think the only weird thing is the thing we just found out about the professor. But even that, it's like not that bad, like it's not that bad. It's really captivating. It's not as I don't think creepy is the right word. It's not as trigger warning based as I thought. Like it just reminds me of a dark romance kind of, but I don't know. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. As a time update, it is currently 10 p.m. We have 19 hours and 31-ish minutes left. The first wave of tiredness is starting to hit me, as it always does at around 10:30. After that, I should be good till like 1 or 2 a.m., which is normally when I would go to bed. But we'll see. As far as my really bad math can tell, this took me like an hour and a half. So we have, I think, 3 hours left with our book. So I'm thinking that if nothing crazy happens, I'm just gonna zip through this one because I have a whole bunch of other books I want to read too, and I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. Thoroughly, I've been wanting to read like all day, and I finally sat down to do it. So those are my thoughts. That's what I'm feeling, and we're gonna go continue reading in Education and Malice. Hello and welcome to check-in number 2. I don't know why I've numbered these, but we're gonna roll with it. First off, please ignore the terrible lighting. I switched it so that my puppies can sleep. You can't see them, but they're sleeping over here. Wow, this book, I'm eating it up, like left and right eating it up, but I really don't know how I feel about it overall. I've read another 10 chapters. I'm now on page 229. It's not bad. It's not the best book I've ever read. The genre is not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe this is like a tame one too, like I have no idea. But timer wise, we're now sitting at about 18 hours, so it's been about an hour and a half. I'm apparently really good at guessing how long books take me to read. So we got about an hour and a half left of this book. That's all that we got left, and then we'll pick what we're gonna read next. I literally have no idea. I have 6 physical books down here, and then I have my Kindle too. We'll pick something from there, but I don't know what it's gonna be yet. But yeah, overall thoughts, I don't really know. I'm enjoying myself. I'm excited to see where the story goes. Well, not really. I don't really know. I don't know. In case you're wondering, we're gonna do like end thoughts and reviews at the very end, because I don't want to cut into our reading time. So yeah, I'm gonna go back and finish this though. It's worth finishing, so I'm gonna go finish it. Okay, let's pretend we can both clearly see what's going on. But I just finished reading Education and Malice. I have no thoughts at the moment. It is literally 1 a.m. I am going to pick my next book because that's what we're doing. Sorry, I've reached the point of delusion. This is when I get delusional. And I know exactly what I'm going to pick. I'm doing my Kindle and I'm going to read The Pomegranate Gate, which is actually a book I have checked out from my library, but it's actually free on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm just gonna read that until the morning, until like probably 6 or 7. It's a thick book. I've barely started it. And I think on my Kindle it says I have like 11 hours left or something. Let me look. I have 12 hours left of my book. So I'm gonna go read the Kindle, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you when I say that I might accidentally end up falling asleep because I'm gonna turn the lights off and I'm gonna turn their sound machine on and get ready for bed. For them, not for me, but I'm also not feeling good right now. Not sure why. I'm still gonna try to stay up, but if I cannot, if I accidentally fall asleep, I will try to pause the timer before that happens, and then we will just continue as normal. And I don't know, we'll go from the morning. One way or another it'll be 24 hours. So I'm gonna go read The Pomegranate Gate. I really don't have anything to say about it. I literally have only read one chapter. I'm gonna go read about a gate made of pomegranates. That's not what it is. I don't even know yet. I don't even know. Bet you didn't think we'd be talking so soon and in such good lighting, did ya? No, because I didn't expect it to happen either. So I fully laid down yesterday with the intention of opening up my Kindle and reading. I didn't. Like, I laid down with my dogs. We got all snuggly cozy. And then I fell asleep in like 2 seconds. And I didn't wake up until 7 o'clock this morning. So, my bad. We we got some reading to do. So we're back in my room because I've decided I don't want to read any of the books that I have downstairs, even though all of the ones that are downstairs are the ones I'm in the middle of. I'm thinking maybe we pick the oldest library book that I have. It's not technically a thriller, it's just a mystery, but it's one we can crank out really fast, and that is going to be Hooks Can Be Deceiving by I can't read that. Betty Hechtman? That sounds weird. I don't know why that sounds weird. This is one of those books that I might start and end up DNFing. I don't know. But I do want to get another book out of here. Because that was a great feeling. When I sat down and read that whole entire book in like one sitting, I got up to go pee. But still, like, it was like one day, 4 hours gone. I love that. I love that so much. But yeah, I think we are going to read Hooks Can Be Deceiving next. Get this one out of the way, and then we have a little bit of work we need to do. So we're going to go back to audiobook land. That is the plan. That's what we're going to go do. I know The Lost Apothecary is not a library book. I don't want to hear it. We're going to go read Hooks Can Be Deceiving, and then we're going to finish The Lost Apothecary. Sound good? Let's go get going, shall we? I'm very excited. So I think it's been like an hour. I don't actually know. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what our timer started at, but we are now, I think, at almost still 16 hours. I think it's been a half hour. I think 15 hours and 50 minutes. And I am actually going to DNF our crochet book that we're reading. Yeah, I only read the first 3 chapters. Usually with a book, this one's just over 300 pages, so I said I'll give it 5, maybe 6 chapters. And it's just not interesting to me. Like, obviously I knew the premise of this book going in, right? It's a crochet mystery. They're all part of a crochet club, what have you, right? We still haven't gotten to the mystery. Like, we were just starting to, and I'm like, I really respectfully don't care enough, so it's gonna be enough. I'm not gonna add it to our monthly wrap up though, just because I didn't even read the normal 5 chapters that I would read for a book. So it's just DNFing off my Goodreads, not getting a rating, not getting a DNF, not part of my 2024 yearly wrap up. We're just gonna move on. And like I already said, we are gonna move on to finish the audiobook of The Lost Apothecary. I have, I believe, just 50 pages left, maybe a little bit less. And that's what I'm gonna go finish listening to now. So that is what I'm gonna go work on now, is finishing this, and then we will pick our next read, which I have no idea what it's going to be. Let's go finish The Lost Apothecary. Okay, so that ended up being perfect timing. I just finished listening to The Lost Apothecary, the end of it, and I just finished my Gecko's Tank as well. I don't really have any thoughts at the moment. We'll talk later. Let me pull up our timer so we can see how much time is left, and then we'll pick our next book. We are sitting at a swift 14 hours and 25 minutes left. I have brought a couple more books down, but they're literally kids' books. I bought Taylor Swift books. I don't want to hear it. I love Taylor Swift. I needed to read them. But first off, let me show you this other stack. This right here is, I believe, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, just 6. 6 books that I have brought downstairs that I do want to read, or that I was hoping to get to, at least 2 or 3 of these. Maybe we can do 3. But most of these I'm actually in the middle of reading. This one is The Pomegranate Gate that I'm reading on my Kindle. I haven't actually started this one or this one. Red Rabbit, I am a little less than halfway through. Roxy, I haven't officially started, but I've opened it and I've started making a TikTok about it. And then The Undetectables, which I still have a hatred for from our video a couple weeks ago. It's not going to be this one that we pick up, but I'm thinking that we are going to read Red Rabbit and Roxy, and I say and because Red Rabbit is split into parts, and this book, Red Rabbit, I can't take it for I can't take reading it for a long time. I don't know why. It's really weird, but I think it's just the content of it. It makes it really hard for me to process or something. But I am in the middle of part 3 right now. I'm almost done with part 3, so I'm thinking I'm going to finish part 3, read some of Roxy, read part 4, read some of Roxy, read part 6, read some of Roxy, and we'll keep going like that until I want to change. Because let's be honest, I probably won't have that much of an attention span. I know Roxy isn't a library book as well, but it's part of my March TBR. I'm trying to read my TBR with you guys. Red Rabbit's part of my TBR as well. The Lost Apothecary was part of my TBR. I'm trying to get through my TBR and just a bunch of library books. But with that being said, we're going to go read these, continue on our reading adventure, and I'm very excited to do so. So let's dive right into Red Rabbit and Roxy, the dynamic R duo. Hello. Okay, I know you can't see me. Give me a second. So, it's about 1 o'clock now in the afternoon. We officially have 13 hours left. That's a guess. Oh, I'm right. Yep, because our timer goes off at almost 2 a.m. But I am hungry for lunch, and I cannot multitask if I don't want to burn our house down. So, what I am going to do is see if any of these 4 books right here have a audiobook on Spotify that I can listen to. I don't want to listen to an audiobook of Red Rabbit or Roxy just because I've started reading them physically. These other 4 I really don't care about, and if I can't find an audiobook for any of these 4, I do have a trilogy upstairs that I have audiobooks planned out for, so I can do that instead. Their Vicious Games does. We're gonna do that. I'm gonna listen to Their Vicious Games while I'm cooking food for me and my children. This is Their Vicious Games. Oh, actually, wait. I'm going to check for something really quickly. I picked up a horror book called The Night House, and if that one has an audiobook, we're going to do that one because it's super short on Audible. On Spotify, it's only 6.5 hours, so only 3. And Their Vicious Games is a 12-hour audiobook. So I'm going to listen to The Night House. I'm going to listen to the whole thing. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna listen to the whole book. I don't know. I'll cook, eat food, and we'll check back in. Sound good? Alrighty. Let's go listen to The Night House by Jo Nesbø. I'm actually really excited. Yay! Okay, it is 30 minutes later, I think. I just finished lunch. My puppies finished their lunch. And I was reading The Night House, or I was listening to The Night House. And oh my gosh, I think I'm literally only 4, maybe 3 or 4 chapters in. And I am literally, I'm hooked. I want to know what happens. Literally the first chapter is the horror part of it, right? And then we just complete opposite direction. You gonna sit? Okay, we're just gonna roll with it. That was creepy. Don't look at people like that. I'm sucked in. I want to know, and it's short. I think it's 200, maybe 300 pages. Literally 240. Literally 245 pages. So I am literally going to listen to the rest of this. And I know audiobooks kind of are doesn't really count, and I understand if you're well, that doesn't count. That's okay. That's your opinion. But I have a trip that I am leaving for in 6 days, and I have some crochet I need to get done. So I'm gonna sit here, listen to our book, crochet, and we'll check in after I finish this one. Because I'm literally just gonna sit here and listen to that book. Alrighty, I'll see you soon. Okay, I'm not quite done yet. I got about an hour left in our book, but I just finished reading part 1. This book is split into 3 parts. And part 1 and 2 are or not part 1 and 2. Part 1 is really long, and then this is 2 and 3. We have part 2 and 3 left. But, like, I don't really know exactly what I was expecting, but I don't think that this is what I was expecting. Because the whole thing starts with, like, a creepy phone, and now we're kind of, like, no longer on the phone, business. I don't know. I'm not disappointed. I'm kind of excited to see where this goes. It's also kind of like really predictable when it comes to like horror book. Like I know that when you do genres, you can't like stray too far from it because then it's like not even like what's that thing where I don't know. Some writer on TikTok named Sheridan, I think, was like, if you want to make a chocolate cake, you gotta have the ingredients of chocolate cake, and if you don't have it, then you're gonna end up with a different kind of cake. Like that's what is it, a metaphor for books and writing, like how to make sure that your work is unique, but also fits in the genre. You get what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know if I'm vibing with it. I'm gonna go finish my book and we'll reconvene and pick our next read. Please ignore the fact that it's no longer light outside. Oh my gosh. So I did pause our timer after I finished our book. We'll talk about it in a second. But I had some stuff I needed to do for college because I'm leaving for a trip soon, which I've mentioned about a bazillion trillion times. And I had to do some reptile stuff again, and I needed to take a little break. So I took like a 2-hour break. So now we're gonna be reading till 4-ish. We'll know when we start our timer again. But I just finished, or the last book I finished reading was The Night House by Jo Nesbø. I did not like this one at all. We'll talk about all my thoughts at the end. But in order to get me back into the reading swing, we are going to read these 2 books right here. No, I'm not kidding. This is the Little Golden Book biography for Taylor Swift. And then I have You Are Fearless, a book for the littlest Taylor Swift fans. But no, I am absolutely 100% reading these next. They are going on my Goodreads. I've already told myself the highest I can give them is 4.5 stars. I refuse to let these be 5 stars, but they are going to my Goodreads. They won't count towards my end of year goal. Okay, I just want to read them to get myself back into reading. So after that, I'm gonna sit down and just keep reading Roxy for a while. I really like the plot of where this is going, and I want to know more. So we're gonna sit down with Roxy after my little mini Taylor marathon. With that being said, we're gonna start our timer again, which is, I don't think y'all know this, but it is sitting at a swift 9 hours. So if I start it, let me see what time it says we'll be done. 4:57 a.m. Yeah, right. It's time to get to work. Let's go read Taylor Swift. Okay, so some time has passed. I don't actually know how much. I've just been reading. I'm now on chapter 13, which is page 124. I don't know what we were at before. Don't ask me. We have 7 hours left on our timer. It is 10 p.m. And I just needed to take a second to stop reading and talk about this book because my god. I actually did read the back of this one just because of how heavy the topic is. I wanted to make sure that mentally I could handle reading this. And I'm glad that I did because it is a little bit, I don't even, have I said what it's about? I don't know. Pretty much there's these 2 drugs who are competing to see who can pretty much, kill their victim first because they want to know who's the deadliest or whatever. And they just happen to pick a brother and sister. And I don't know, the way that they're like explaining, portraying, and talking about both the good and the bad. That apparently it's nighttime for my bearded dragon. I apologize. But the way that they talk about the good and the bad and the just in between that comes with drugs and the healthcare and all that stuff, it's really, I guess, beautiful, honestly, is the right word that I'm looking for. In the beginning of the book, it even said, like, it says, Roxy is a work of fiction that deals with prescription drug addiction. Though many of the drugs depicted were designed to help, their misuse has spiraled into an epidemic. It is our hope that everyone who reads Roxy will leave the story with a clearer understanding of how insidious, seductive, and dangerous these drugs can be for those struggling with addiction or with any addicted loved one. This book will be cathartic but also very intense. We hope you have a powerful and meaningful read. Anyways, I am going to read more of this. we still have 6 hours left. I don't know if we'll finish this, but I am going to read more of it, which is what I'm going to go do now. So that was just a quick little check-in, quick little 6-hour left check-in. We've done not 20 hours yet. We're on, is that 18? Yeah, 18. Nice. Alrighty, let's get back to work. Top of the morning to ya. Oh my gosh. So I've got some bad news. I don't know why I'm British. I think I go British when I'm nervous, but I do have some bad news. So, as you saw, we read our 2 Taylor books, had a grand old time, and then I went on to read Roxy. I am now on chapter 181. I'm on page 181, chapter 19, but I wanted to switch to my Kindle because it was getting late. I wanted to turn my lights off, all that stuff, and I wanted to read The Pomegranate Gate, this book that I have been working on for literally ever, right? I fell asleep again. I fell asleep and my alarm woke me up at 5:30 in the morning, and then I went back to bed, and now it's almost 10 and I'm back awake to the waking world, but I don't know how much time was left on the timer. I don't know how much I read. So I think we're just gonna call it. Things I've learned from this challenge. I do not have the mental capacity to do these. I cannot sit and read for 24 hours. It doesn't entertain me enough, and I want stir crazy. Like, I actually was like, I want to do something else. I just want to crochet. I used all my audiobook time on Spotify to do my other stuff. Like, I literally am incapable of doing 24-hour reading challenges, which is really sad because I wanted to do another one this summer, but after today, I don't know if I'm built for them, man. I don't know if I'm built for them. So I don't know if you can call this 24 hours. It's yet another failed one. It probably ended up being more like 20, 21 hours, but I'm gonna count it for the books. It's gonna end up in the books because I'm counting it. You can take it up with the courts, you know? But I did say we would do ratings at the end. So I have our wonderful stack of books right here, all the books that we finished. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Roxy because that's the last one that I read. Nothing's going on in The Pomegranate Gate. I read it while I was asleep both times. Like, I have to go back and reread it all. Like, I can't talk to you about Pomegranate Gate. I don't know what's going on in there. But let's talk about the other books that we read in this challenge, because we read 5. Yes, 2 of them were kids' books, so I guess we read 3 and like a 4th of one, but whatever. The first one we read, I actually had to return to the library already, and that is An Education in Malice. I still don't totally know how I feel about it. That was my first dip into the, what is it called, dark academia genre, and it wasn't, to me, it was like a normal book I would read. Like, I wasn't like grossed out or anything. I still really liked it. I think I'm gonna do more with the genre, like maybe a video on it, because I've heard some of them are really bad. I don't know. I liked it, and I found a new likey for me. So I think for Education in Malice, I'm going to go with a 3. It wasn't outstanding amazing. I didn't hate it. I didn't know it had so much to do with like supernatural elements. Maybe that's because I didn't read the blurb. I did actually like skim the blurb on this one though, so I don't know. But I'm gonna give Education in Malice a 3. No really big complaints, just didn't hit super hard. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that, you know. Next, I went on to finish our audiobook, which I guess we technically started with as well, which is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. Also don't know what I was expecting. I literally picked this one up for March, so I'm like, I need an audiobook for March because I have a lot of stuff I need to do, because I'm in March TBR for that reason. And I liked it. I did, but it was another one of those like middle of the road books. Like, it wasn't anything special. It didn't make me gasp out loud. The story was cute. It takes place you get like 2 perspectives, one from the 1700s and one from modern day. I like how they overlap. It's cute, and I enjoy it. But for The Lost Apothecary, I think I'm also going to be going with a 3. I was debating between a 2.5 and a 3. I don't do 0.75s. That's too confusing for my brain. I do like 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and so on. But I think I'm gonna go with a 3 for Lost Apothecary. This is the first time I've actually sat down and been like, what am I rating these books? Like, I have no idea. The next one we read was one that I was actually really excited for, which was The Night House by Jo Nesbø. Another audiobook one. Read this one in one sitting as well. I was enthralled. I wanted to see what would happen. The first chapter is literally the scary cover, and then you go from there with this 14-year-old kid solving what happened. Insufferable ending. Absolutely insufferable. I hate that I read this book. It is getting a 1 star from me. Like, I literally insufferable. None of this needed to happen. None of it did. This didn't need to be a book. It didn't. You know, if you're gonna, the plot was good. The solving of the thing was good. But if you're gonna do what you did in the end twice, just don't make a book. Don't make a book. You have to make it make sense, and that's a stupid way to make it make sense. Anyway, after my very traumatizing journey, I want to go read my Taylor Swift books. The first one being The Little Golden Book. It's about Taylor. This is actually, you're gonna find this insane. If you don't know me, I love Taylor Swift. This is getting a 3.5. I put it on a children's scale, by the way. This is not with my regular book scale, but it's getting a 3.5 because they started off by mentioning some of the albums in the beginning, and they didn't mention Fearless. Not Fearless. They didn't mention anything past Speak Now. They didn't mention Lover. They didn't mention Taylor's version. Like, are you really a Swiftie if you don't mention Taylor's version? Miss Wendy Logia? Like, what? Very disappointing. So I went on to my other book, You Are Fearless. Again, a children's kid book about freaking Taylor Swift. It is quite literally called The Littlest Book for Littlest Swifties. And, or is it? A book for little Taylor Swift fans. And it's cute. Okay, it has nothing to do with her story or her career. It is literally like one of those baby books that you read before bed. Like, an original who cannot be copied. You make the world pay attention. Besties come together. Da 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 da. You know, like one of those cute little uplifting kid books. I like this one more, but it's also just gonna get a 3.5. I literally, in my conscious mind, cannot rate children's books higher than a 4. And I told myself I could not rate these 5. I really thought they were gonna be 5. They're not 5. They're just cute. I read them for fun, and thus is thus, such is such, whatever, you know. I then kind of like read a little bit in each of my other books: Pomegranate Gate, Red Rabbit, Roxy. I started in this challenge, and I think I'm like halfway through. I don't know. Let me open my Goodreads. I did put it in my Goodreads. I'm 47% of the way through Roxy. And I think I briefly touched on talking about this pretty late at night. This book is beautiful and terrifying in the best way possible. I can't believe I'm saying this. I said this as a joke when I picked it up. I'm like, I'm gonna be like, I think I said it in the TikTok that I'm making about this, where I was like, I'm gonna like be mad at myself that I didn't pick this up sooner because I'm gonna love the book. I love this book. It's not my normal. I don't normally read stuff like this, and I'm a little bit worried, not about what it's going to do to my mental health, but just what it's going to do to my outlook on drugs in general. I don't know. We'll talk about it in the March wrap up because I don't have another video in March. For what I think it's gonna get, I think it right now, I'm thinking it's gonna end up with like a 4.5. Like literally, I like it. Not gonna be a 5-star, but it's definitely gonna be up there. So yeah, that's all that we read and consumed. I am kind of now realizing that I jumped back and forth between books a lot. I didn't realize that I did. I kind of had a feeling I was going to, but it's okay. I read 3 books, 3 big girl books, cover to cover, and 2 little kid books. I'm completely satisfied with what I read. I think I did a great job, and I would have loved to finish Roxy. I could have finished Roxy if I didn't freaking fall asleep, but that's... Anyways, we have made it to the end of our time together this week. I am exhausted. I'm gonna go do anything except for reading for the next 24 hours. That's really dramatic, but no, like genuinely, there's a bunch of other stuff that I'm like, I need to do this and this and this and this and this. I'm leaving for my trip soon. I know I've said it 1 million freaking times. I have 4 days to get everything done. I probably should have picked a different time to film this, but that's okay. That's okay. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful time. Hope you had a wonderful time. I apologize it wasn't 100% 24 hours. It was as close as I was going to get. If there are any books you want to see me read in the future, anything you want to see, any challenges you want to see me do, anything like that, literally just let me know. Send me a DM, Instagram, TikTok, whatever floats your boat. You can comment it too. Girl, you do you. If you don't want to tell me either, just wait till I do it. That's fine too. Have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful evening, week, whatever it may be, and I'll see you guys next week. Toodaloo!